Alright, it's your boy Sinister back with another video. Here we go. Oh, so wait, sorry, not sure what happened there. Alright, so first what we're going to do here, we're just looking at this equation. We're going to see that the first thing we kind of recognize here is that we have it's called a rational number. It's just a decimal number here. But we're going to do all the same stuff that we usually do. We're going to solve this equation. So the first thing, when you see these parentheses, if you see here, you see these parentheses, right? I'm marking them in blue. You know, if you see those parentheses and you have something on the outside, you have to take what's on the outside here. So I'm going to take this 0.5 and I'm going to multiply it times 5. And I'm going to also multiply it times negative 7x. So I have to do both of those things. Okay, so I'm just going to draw my line, my wall, okay? And then down here, I'm going to put my equation, all right? So I have 0.5 times 5. So that's, and you can just do that on a calculator if you need to, it's fine. But that is 2.5, so it's 2.5. And then 0.5 times negative 7x. Remember here, this negative, you have to include it, okay? So this number is going to be a negative number. So it's going to be minus, and half, or 0.5 of 7 is 3.5, or 3.5. So 3.5 x, right? Don't forget your x here. You have your x still. And then all that is equal to, and so we have 8 here. And what I'm gonna change the color so you can see them on this side now. So now I have 8. I just brought down my 8. And then I have this negative. This negative is really negative 1. If you need to write this 1 in here every single time, that's totally fine until you get used to it. It's kind of a hidden 1. It's invisible, right? But there is a 1 right here. So we have to think about it like negative 1. So just like we did with the 0.5, we're going to take this entire negative 1, right, this number, and we're going to multiply it times 4x, and we're going to multiply it times 6, positive 6, okay? So negative 1 times 4x is just negative, there's my negative, it's already there for me, negative 4x. And then my negative 1 times positive 6 is going to make this positive 6 a negative 6. A negative 6, okay? And it's because this negative on the outside, this negative 1 is what did that. It changed the sign of my 6, so it became a negative 6 here, okay? And then, so we're just going to look at how to work through each side. So on this side, I can't really do anything. I can't combine these because there's no x in the 2.5. So I'm just going to rewrite it, 2.5 minus 3.5x, and that's equal to, and then over on my right side, I can combine some stuff. I can combine this 8 and this negative 6. So that's 8 minus 6, okay? So 8 minus 6. And if you want to, you could draw a little arrow or a little line saying, hey, I'm combining negative 6 and 8. So 8 minus 6 is just 2. And then I still have this negative 4x. So minus 4x. There it is. So now we have to start looking at how do we get all of our variables on one side and all of our numbers on the other side. Remember, we have to do that. Notice I have an x over here and I have an x over here. I can't do anything with that. I need to get all the x's on one side. And it doesn't matter which side you want to do. It's up to you, totally. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get rid of this negative 3.5x. I'm going to get rid of it. So I'm going to take it away. But since it's negative, I'm going to do the opposite, the inverse operation. I'm going to add 3.5x. Notice I added the x also because I want all of it. I want all of it to go away, okay? I want all of it to go away. And that just leaves me with this 2.5. And then on the other side, since I added the 3.5x here, I have to also add 3.5x to this side. I have to keep it balanced. Remember, we balance our equations. So now I have negative 4x plus 3.5x. Well, the negative 4 is larger than the positive 3.5, and it's larger by 0.5. So that's going to leave me with 0.5x. but it's negative because the -4 is larger, okay? And then I'm just going to bring that as 2. The 2 is still there. I didn't do anything to it. So it's 2 minus 0.5x, all right? So now I have my x's on the right side, but I need to get my numbers over here onto the left side. So what do I have to do? I got to get rid of this 2. So I'm going to subtract 2 away from it. It's positive. The opposite or inverse operation is negative. That goes away. I also have to do it on this side though. Minus 2, right? I'm going to subtract 2 from 2.5. Well, 2.5 minus 2 just leaves me with 0.5. It just leaves me with 0.5. Just the number, right? There's no x. No x's here, okay? So 0.5 on the left side. And then on the right side, I have negative 0.5x. So now you can kind of see what our last step is going to be. I need to get x all by itself. Remember, I want to isolate my variable. So I need to divide here. I have to divide out. And what I'm going to divide out is the negative 0.5, right? Because I just want x to be by itself. So I'm going to divide by negative 0.5. And then that's going to take away the negative 0.5 here and just leave me with x on that side, okay? And then over here, since I divided by negative 0.5, I have to also divide by negative 0.5 on this side. Well, 0.5 divided by negative 0.5 is, and I'll change the color again, is negative 1. 0.5 divided by 0.5 is 1, but since this bottom 0.5 is negative, then I have to change it to negative, okay? So it's negative 1. What I'm saying there is that 0.5 fits in the 0.5 one time, and this negative, I have to add it on, okay? So there it is. So x equals negative 1. And that is your solution. That's what you would write in this box, okay? And I'll go ahead and do it. So x equals negative 1. All right, thanks a lot.